And good afternoon, race fans. Are we in for a doozy of a race here today? This is the penultimate race of the season. This is going to be the race that sets up who will be battling for the championship next week in the season finale at Auto Club. Will it be McCurry, Miles, Richardson, Sanford, Dodd, Fitzwater, Matthews, Acavito, or Shelton that will transfer into the Final Four here today? It'll be 25 laps of racing, and definitely we got a huge points battle on our hand between these 9 drivers still in the hunt for the championship. We'll break it down for you in just a moment, but Jessica Shelton lines up on the pole position for this race. She's one of 2 drivers coming to this race that's in almost a must-win situation, so definitely rising to the occasion, starting on the inside of the front row alongside of Stephanie Gardner. As far as the other chasers, we've only got 2 other chasers starting inside of the top 12, 3 chasers inside of the top 14. Miles will roll off from 3rd. Kyle Matthews will roll off from 12th. Anthony McCurry, the defending champion, from the 14th position. But here's how the points look like coming into this race. This point situation that we'll be keeping an eye on during the course of today's 25-lap event. Anthony McCurry comes into this race as the points leader. Right now, he's in a very good situation for being able to transfer into the next round of the chase because of the fact that he has roughly about I believe it's 12-point advantage between himself and the cutoff line. Might be more than that. Then you got Benjamin Miles. He's 7 points out of the lead, and he is roughly, I don't know exactly where he's at. I think he's about 12 points ahead of the cutoff line. I think McCurry is about 17 points ahead of the cutoff line. Let's get the command first, and then I'll fill you on the rest.
Drivers, start your engine!
So, long story short, McCurry and Miles, barring a wreck, are going to make it into the Final Four to battle for the championship. But then you go from 3rd on down. James Richardson, 3rd in the points, is only 5 points ahead of the cutoff line, which is 4th in the standings. Charles Sanford right now sits in that 4th position in the points. Then you've got Chris Dodd. He's 5th in points, only 3 points out of 4th position. Zachary Fitzwater is 6th in the standings, only 9 points out of 4th. And then Kyle Matthews, he is 7th in the point standings, 19 points out of the 4th position in the point standings. Grayson Acavito is 25 points out. Jessica Shelton is 28 points out. They're basically in a must-win situation. Keep in mind, if any of these 9 drivers that I just mentioned end up winning today's race, they're automatically locked into the championship battle next week at Auto Club, and it could change things up dramatically into who's going to be making it in and who isn't. If the green flag and the checker flag were to wave right now, it would be McCurry, Miles, Richardson, and Sanford who would be battling for the championship. Well, actually, no, it would, because Shelton would win the race. So disregard what I just said right there. But right now, the top 4 in the point standings are McCurry, Miles, Richardson, and Sanford. We'll have to see if it remains that way when the checker flag waves here today. Number of chasers made their way into the second round of qualifying, into the final round of qualifying to start up here near the front. Shelton and Miles starting on the insides of rows 1 and 2. We'll see if the good qualifying result pans out in their favor. But you got to keep in mind, those 9 drivers, they're battling for a spot in the Final Four next week at Auto Club. You've got another 33 drivers in this field that want to go to victory lane. A number of them for the first time this season, a number of them for the first time in their career. So it'll be a crazy one here today at Talladega Superspeedway. 25 laps await us. The pace car makes the left-hand turn onto pit road. Jessica Shelton at 70 miles per hour leads the 42-car field through the tri-oval towards the exit. Down here is where the start-finish line is. That extra 100 feet as opposed to where Daytona start-finish line could be a difference maker today. As Shelton, Stephanie Gardner bring us down. Green flags out. We're racing here at Talladega. See Charles Sanford jump up to the high line there. Looks like his early strategy is to drop to the back. He qualified mid-pack, and that's usually where a lot of trouble can break out in terms of the big ones. So apparently deciding that the rear of the field is the safest place for him to be, and is very willingly giving up positions. Actually, he just found his way back to the inside line right there. So nice job by him. As here's the battle for the lead. Benjamin Miles to the front. Keep in mind, if you lead a lap, you get a bonus point. If you lead the most laps, you get a bonus point. Bonus points could be very important in today's race, as Shelton begins to free fall there in that high line. Benjamin Miles looks like he may lead the first lap of the day, get himself a valuable bonus point, and continue to grow his little points advantage between himself and fourth in the standings, as he will lead the first lap of the day here at Talladega. Shelton found her way back in line. She's now fallen back to the 8th position as Daniel Voiles jumps to the lead, and thought Miles might try and move down there in front of Sean Galligan. No dice. Galligan's not going to let him in. Things getting some pretty dicey there at the rear, at the mid to the rear of the field. They're almost in 3 wide situations and about 3 or 4 different places from what I saw. At the front, though, it is all Daniel Voiles showing the way, but that's not exactly the best place to be, out in front with a huge gap between yourself and everybody else, because that's when they start reeling you in. Daniel Voiles, the leader. Benjamin Miles in second. William Brockman moves to third. Dougie Shears gets turned by Emmanuel Hartnett, and that's going to bring out a caution. Oh, and where are the chasers going to be after this? I think, did they save it? I think they saved it. Seth Cole's got damage. Dylan Young's damage. Oh no, there are some chasers involved. Jessica Shelton and Grayson Acavito, a couple of our long shot drivers, are in it. Emmanuel Hartnett's involved. Our winner from a couple of weeks ago, Marie Minobi, is in it. And the caution flag waves for the first time here today at Talladega. The pole sitter, Jessica Shelton, caught up in it. Grayson Acavito involved as well. 2 chasers, just like that, out of this competition for the championship. Man, that is a tough break. We are now under yellow. Daniel Voiles leads us under our first caution of the day, but oh, I thought when I saw Shears running on the high side, I thought maybe, just maybe, they had actually saved it, but apparently that was not the case, and that was right up near the front of the field too. Dougie Shears was up, I believe, around the 7th, 8th position. Got turned by Emmanuel Hartnett from what I saw. We'll obviously look back in depth at a replay of what happened. But our 2 long shot drivers, if you will, I think that was the nail in the coffin for their championship hopes. Grayson Acavito and Jessica Shelton. And just think about it, 2 different sides of the coin. Shelton qualified on the pole. Acavito qualified near the rear of the field. And both of them got caught up in this incident. Let's see if anybody's going to decide to roll the dice and pit early. William Brock and Sean Galligan. Looks like they're going to come to pit road. A couple of others going to come to pit lane as well. Stephanie Gardner, Chris Dodd, Ryan Madden. Looks like that was Kat Tellier in the 35, also coming to pit road. So some drivers rolling the dice, coming to pit road early here under our first caution of the day at Talladega. Oh man, I didn't see this. They were 4 wide for, I believe that was the 5th position. Hartnett, Johnson, Shears, and Young. And the contact comes right there. I don't know if the 97 moved up into the 20. I think he did. I think Hartnett moved up into Marty Johnson. That spins Dougie Shears around. Nowhere for Dylan Young to go. And then they spin right back up. And Jessica Shelton's just boxed in. Has absolutely nowhere to go. Runs into the back of Dylan Young. Look at Anthony McCrory. He was back behind all this and somehow was able to get down to the inside to avoid. And then Marie Minobi comes driving in and just basically never slows down. She gets into the back of Jessica Shelton. Seth Cole actually gets hit from behind by Grayson Acavito, who was trying to slow down. So rewind this just a little bit again, get a better look. Shelton at this point already has front end damage after she got into the back of Dylan Young. She's going to get even more damage again right here when Marie Minobi hits her from behind. And watch, there's Seth Cole. He's going to dive low to try to avoid, and Grayson Acavito is there. That just shoots Acavito actually up and into this melee as well. So Acavito, the contact with Seth Cole, shot him straight up into the wreck. And then here's what the tough part was for both Shelton and Acavito. As both cars come down the racetrack to rest on the apron, both cars end up getting caught on the racetrack in the transition from the apron to the racetrack. And that's what ended up causing them to have to both teleport to pit road, along with Emmanuel Hartnett and Marie Minobi. They could not get the cars refired and drive away from the incident. So I don't know if these drivers are necessarily going to be able to continue or not, but they're probably going to lose a lap due to having to teleport their way back to pit road. So that's a tough break there for Shelton and Acavito. We can't write them off just yet unless they retire from the race, but they will be trapped a lap down at least And so that could potentially take them out of the hunt for this championship. But stranger things have happened, and this is Talladega, so we'll have to see what the end result of this race will be, as we are under caution for the first time here today after a 4-wide situation goes bad on lap 3. Well, the green flag will come back out here on lap 8 of 25. That'll give us a total of 18 laps to go. And as you can see, 4 drivers have taken their cars behind the wall, including Marty Johnson, Jessica Shelton, Seth Cole, and Grayson Acavito. So that will do it for Acavito and Shelton. They are no longer going to be in the hunt for the championship heading into next week. So it's basically now going to come down, I would say, between Richardson, Sanford, Dodd, Fitzwater, and Matthews as to who's going to get the final 2 spots in, because right now, Anthony McCurry and Benjamin Miles, they survived the first wreck. Right now, Miles running in 2nd, McCurry is in 16th. And with the advantage the 2 of them came into today's race over 3rd in the standings, it looks like those 2 are definitely going to transfer into the next round, the final round of the chase. You've got Daniel Voiles, the leader. Miles lines up 2nd. Then Sanford, who came into this race 4th in the point standings, he is 3rd. Kyle Matthews, who now would be the long shot driver, is in the 4th position with Joseph Srigley in 5th. 6th, Carson Scott. 7th, Cole Baker. 8th, JT Bryant. Tim Walsh in 9th. And completing your top 10 is Joshua Michaels. As far as the rest of the chase drivers are concerned, McCurry will restart in the 16th position. James Richardson will restart back in 22nd. And Chris Dodd will restart in 29th. So here we go, getting ready to go back to green. Daniel Voiles gets us back underway. So we now know 2 drivers that at this point have basically been eliminated. Jessica Shelton, Grayson Acavito, who in all honesty came into this race needing to win in order to basically have themselves still in the hunt for the championship at next week's season finale at Auto Club. So it's a tough break for them, obviously, but they really were long shot drivers. So it's not like they came in like 1 or 2 points behind. They were quite a ways behind in a points deficit. As at the front, Daniel Voiles showing the way. Now, we mentioned last week at Homestead, Miami, Dylan Young, how he had never been to victory lane in about nearly 2 years of Hersheys Cup Series competition. Daniel Voiles can claim the same. Voiles has raced 2 years in the Hersheys Cup Series and has never been to victory lane. Right now, looking very strong out in front as Miles is in 2nd, Kyle Matthews there into 3rd. Now, you got to wonder, too, with James Richardson restarting in 22nd, would the Retro Racing Enterprises cars work together here, Sanford and Kyle Matthews? Because with where Sanford's running right now, he would still be in the top 4 in the point standings, but Kyle Matthews is 19 points out of that 4th position in the points. So, I don't know, would Sanford help his teammate try and get into the final 4? The car they would have to worry about is the 11 of James Richardson. Let's see if we can find him and find out where he's at right now. He's back in the 24th position, in quite a hornet's nest back here as well, trying to work his way towards the front. Here comes Chris Dodd in the 08. Chris Dodd comes into this race 5th in the point standings. He was 3 points out of the cutoff line, and right here passing James Richardson. This could actually be a position transfer in the point standings as well, because keep in mind, Sanford was only 5 points back from James Richardson. He's running right now up inside the top 10. So Chris Dodd may have just taken the 4th position in the point standings away from James Richardson. There is Zachary Fitzwater as well, came in 9 points back from Charles Sanford. So I would say at the current point in time, the top 4 in the standings would be McCurry, Miles, Sanford, and Chris Dodd. But there's still a long ways to go in this race, and my calculations could be incorrect. There's McCurry. Right now running solidly in the 14th position. He's just basically got to finish this race inside the top 20, I would say. Basically just finish the race. Same deal could be said for Benjamin Miles in the 25, as he's up here in the thick of it. He's now getting passed for 2nd and 3rd. Joshua Michaels, Dylan Poteet move into the runner-up and podium positions. Move Benjamin Miles back to 4th, and now Joshua Michaels trying to do something here with Daniel Voiles, but now he's got Dylan Poteet to his inside. That is for 2nd. Joshua Michaels has not been to victory lane since Pocono of last year, and the field is getting spread out into single file formation right now. Here comes Cole Baker with Tim Walsh, a couple of drivers who haven't been to victory lane yet this season. Charles Sanford working his way back up towards the front there with his teammate Kyle Matthews. They're currently situated in, I believe, 8th and 9th position, but it is all Daniel Voiles currently out in front. Poteet in 2nd, Michaels in 3rd, Benjamin Miles, Cole Baker, that's your top 5, as we are now halfway through this race. And now Michaels makes the run on the inside of Poteet for the 2nd position. Daniel Voiles not having much to do up front at the moment as far as blocking is concerned, but he may have to in just a moment. Whoa, Dylan Poteet moving down in front of Cole Baker. Baker willing to back off just enough for Poteet to be able to get in line, but Baker might not have needed to. He had a pretty big run there with the help of Joseph Srigley. And now Daniel Voiles got a rear deck lid full of the Aspendental Chevrolet of Joshua Michaels. Slow car, Dougie Shears, they have to maneuver their way around. It looks like they will just barely do that. That was a close call there. Dougie Shears keeping low, having them go around the high side rather than going high and giving them the preferred low line. So that was a little dicey right there, as Dougie Shears will now fall lap down to the leaders. And the next car they would encounter, I believe, would be the 2 of Dylan Young, who is actually just up ahead of them. Or is he? No, he's actually in turns 3 and 4, the field on the back straightaway. So they'll encounter him within the next few laps, but not just yet. Voiles showing the way still, and now the battle on for 2nd again. Joshua Michaels and Dylan Poteet have been exchanging that 2nd position for the last couple of laps, but they might want to stop doing that, because here comes Cole Baker, Joseph Srigley, Kyle Matthews up into the mix. They're trying to make it 3, 4, 5-man fight here for the runner-up spot. And Michaels will take it. Baker now moves into the 3rd position, not going to let Poteet in line this time. Srigley now moves into the 4th spot with Kyle Matthews. We've got quite a gap from here on back. Anthony McCurry in 11th, and then you jump a long ways back to 12th, 13th, 14th. That is Sir Cooley, Stephanie Gardner, Lee, and Alvarez. And the reason that the field separated was because of the slower now lap machine of Dougie Shears. Here's another group that also had a little bit of difficulty getting around that machine, and that's McIntyre, Flickinger, Sean Galligan, Stoltz, Trent Dunham. As a matter of fact, I also noticed James Richardson managed to make his way back by Chris Dodd. So that would actually keep Richardson in the top 4. Chris Dodd right now would be on the outside looking in. So right now, as things stand, the drivers that would transfer would be McCrory, Miles, Sanford, and Richardson still, with where they are running. They are currently the top 4 highest running chasers on track. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. I was going to say the top 4 highest running chasers on track, but actually the highest running chaser is Kyle Matthews, currently there in that 4th position. And for Kyle Matthews, keep in mind, if he wins, he's into the season finale, battling for the championship. So he's keeping himself right here in the mix. Also keep in mind that we've gone clean and green since the restart. A couple of drivers did come to pit road under that caution flag, including William Brock and Sean Galligan, Kat Tellier, Stephanie Gardner. So if this thing goes into a long green flag run to the end and drivers cannot make it on fuel, we could end up having those drivers pull off an amazing strategy. I believe one of those drivers too was Chaser Chris Dodd, as Daniel Voiles is going to have a little bit of difficulty here with Dylan Young. Look at Cole Baker on the outside line driving around for the lead. Dylan Young holding up the inside line. Cole Baker says, "Thank you very much. I'll take the high line, and I will take the top position." So now rookie Cole Baker trying to become the 5th different rookie to win this season. Leading the way, but he's going to have a whole contingency behind him. Daniel Voiles has got Joseph Srigley, Dylan Poteet, and Charles Sanford coming along with him, trying to reel in Baker. And look at the run they get down the back straightaway. Baker's got absolutely no chance of holding off Daniel Voiles. Big run by him on the back straightaway, and Voiles back to the lead. So it was a perfect situation for a moment for Cole Baker, but the fact he had gotten out ahead, so far ahead, was what really hurt him. And now Voiles back out in front. The battle on for 2nd between Dylan Poteet, Cole Baker. Poteet gets it at the line, and we've got 7 laps to go here at Talladega. Will fuel come into play? Right now, of the drivers that had pitted under that caution, I believe the highest running is right there, Joshua Michaels in the 10. I think he had come to pit road. I might be wrong. If it wasn't him, The next highest runner would be right there, Stephanie Gardner, currently in the 11th position. She would be the one, I believe, that would inherit the lead. Other drivers that had pitted under that caution, one of them back here, Sean Galligan in 19th place, and there you go. Pit stops taking place. And Gardner stays out, Galligan stays out, everybody else is on the pit road. So now the question, can Galligan and Gardner, can they make it the rest of the way on fuel? They came to pit road back on lap 4. So they are at least about 4 more laps to the good than everybody else. They also might have been able to save some under caution. And we had 5 laps to go when we hit the stripe this next time by. Gardner stayed out, Galligan stayed out, Chris Dodd also stayed out, as did Joe Rockingham, Cody Lamas, Ryan Madden, Marie Minobi, William Brock, Kat Tellier. They were the ones to stay out. Let's see if, nope, Stephanie Gardner did not come in this lap. Neither did Galligan. So they may try and stretch it. Why not? Go for it. These drivers are not battling for the championship. And you gotta figure, oh my word, look out! Oh, Stephanie Gardner ran into the back of Dougie Shears, and there goes Galligan shooting up through the traffic. Oh, that was crazy. That was crazy. Galligan to the point. And you've got Chris Dodd back here. There he is with Joe Rockingham. If they can make some speed and Chris Dodd wins this race, Chris Dodd's into the final 4 in the battle for the championship. Up the middle here he's going to go. To the middle of the inside of Dougie Shears. He's got Cody Lamas along with him. Can these guys catch up to the top 2? There is Galligan. He's merged in now with Tim Walsh and JT Bryant. Stephanie Gardner's by herself. Chris Dodd and Cody Lamas, they've found friends in the form of Kyle Matthews and Trent Dunham. But do they have enough time to reel in the 48? Can the 48 make it on fuel? This is definitely going to help him as far as fuel mileage, running here in the draft with Tim Walsh, Benjamin Miles, and Leon Alvarez. And he's not going to come to pit road. He's still staying out. Stephanie Gardner starting to reel him in. What about that other group with Chris Dodd and company? There's Chris Dodd. I think he lost Cody Lamas as a partner. I think Lamas may be on the pit road. He is. So Cody Lamas gives up the 4th position to come to pit road. Now the question is, can Sean Galligan and Stephanie Gardner make it, or are they going to have to pit with about 2 laps to go? More traffic up ahead. That's Michaels, Poteet, McCrory. Who is going to make it on fuel? And as things stand right now, if these drivers all have to come to pit road, I believe Charles Sanford is the highest running of the drivers who have pitted, and Galligan comes to pit lane. Stephanie Gardner will stay out an extra lap. So Gardner inherits the lead. Now can she make it on fuel? 2 to go. And now it's Cole Baker who would be the highest running of the drivers yet. Oh, no, it wouldn't. I'm sorry. It would be Charles Sanford still, who would be the highest running of the drivers who have pitted already in the 8th position. Stephanie Gardner having some difficulty here with Dylan Poteet, trying to get to the inside line. She might be coming to pit road this lap. I think she's trying to find her way to the inside line to come to pit road. Maybe not. All over Poteet's back bumper. Is Gardner going to try and stretch it? Or is she going to come to pit road? She's coming to the pit lane. Where's Joe Rockingham? There's Rockingham. Is he staying out? No, he's coming to pit road. Who's going to try and stretch it? Next car would be, I believe, well, there's Galligan, and there's Sanford. I think Galligan might have gotten out ahead of Sanford. I think he did. I think Galligan still has the lead over Charles Sanford, but here comes Sanford to the outside. Charles Sanford around the outside to the lead. Sanford takes the top position now. He'll cycle around, I believe, as the race leader, coming to get the white flag, looking for his 4th win of the season. White flag displayed. 1 more lap to go here at Talladega. Is Sanford indeed the leader? He's got to get by Stephanie Gardner. Where's the 82? Just now coming off pit road. Can Sanford catch her by time they get to turn 3? Down the back straightaway they go. Stephanie Gardner coming out ahead. She might be able to hold on to the lead. Sanford with a full head of steam. It's going to come down between these two, I think. Gardner still has the lead. Sanford trying to reel her in here. He comes with a big run out of turn 4. Will he pass her for the top position? To the outside comes Sanford. Sanford clears for the top position. And Charles Sanford with a last lap pass is going to pick up win number 4 this season. He's in the final 4 in the chase for the championship. Talk about a race of fuel strategy. Charles Sanford is going to get it done here at Talladega. He is going to win his 4th race of the season. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think he has swept the Talladega race weekends. I think he won Talladega earlier on this season too. What a statement to make, and now Charles Sanford is into the final round of the chase with a 3-point advantage. He'll get 3 bonus points in the final 4 battle at Auto Club. Wow, what an unbelievable finish. Unbelievable. Sanford, right place, right time, perfect strategy, and the standings are official. Never before have we had a 4-time winner in the Hersheys Cup Series in a single season. We had a 3-time winner. Last season, Mason Powers went to victory lane 3 times. And this season, of course, Charles Sanford went to victory lane 3 times. But for the first time ever, Sanford makes history as the first 4-time winner in a single season in the Hersheys Cup Series. Sean Galligan, so close, will get 2nd. Joshua Michaels, 3rd. Stephanie Gardner was so close. She got 4th. Leon Alvarez, great run in 5th. Cole Baker in 6th. Benjamin Miles will get 7th. 8th for Daniel Voiles. McCrory in 9th. And 10th for Tim Walsh. Now, as far as the final spot in the chase goes, we know Sanford is obviously going to be one of the final 4 with the win here today. Anthony McCrory came in the points leader, finishes 9th. He'll be one of the final 4 as he'll look to be a back-to-back Hersheys Cup Series champion. Benjamin Miles, 7th today. He will be one of the final 4 competitors. But who gets the final spot? Here is the answer. James Richardson came into this race 8 points over Chris Dodd. Dodd finishes 14th. In order for Dodd to be the final driver in the championship hunt, he needs to have James Richardson finish in 23rd or worse. Richardson finishes out today's race in the 31st position, which means that it will be Chris Dodd joining Sanford, McCrory, and Miles in the final 4 battle for the championship at next week's season finale of Auto Club, which means that the drivers eliminated from the chase after this 3rd round will include James Richardson, Zachary Fitzwater, Kyle Matthews, Grayson Acavito, and Jessica Shelton. So, it's going to come down between 4 drivers who have raced every single race in this series up to this point. Sanford, Miles, McCrory, and Dodd. Who is going to be the champion next week at Auto Club? I can't wait to find out. Hope you guys are looking forward to it too. Charles Sanford, how about this guy? 4 wins this season, and he will be up by 3 points over the other 3 competitors when the green flag drops next week at Auto Club. Could those 3 bonus points be the deciding factor into whether he's going to be Season 2 Hersheys Cup Series champion or not? McCrory chases history as well, trying to go 2 for 2 in winning the championship here in the Hersheys Cup Series. Benjamin Miles and Chris Dodd, they're the long shot drivers, I think you can say, in this one. Maybe one of them could surprise us at Auto Club and be the champion as well heading into next season. 4 drivers finished out of the race: Marty Johnson, Jessica Shelton, Seth Cole, and Grayson Acavito. 35 cars finished on the lead lap, and it came down to pit strategy within the final 5 laps of this race. What an exciting race at Talladega. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown you your full finish results down through 42nd place. Up next, we'll show you your rookie points as well as your overall point standings and your reformatted chase points showing the final 4 that will battle for the championship. So, are you a part of Sanford Nation, McCrory Nation, Miles Nation, or Dodd Nation? Tell me down in the comments, and we will see you guys next week for the season finale at Auto Club Speedway. Until then, you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.
Oh, don't think of your
He's going for it! He's going for it!
It's gonna be a photo finish.
Side by side to the line! Hudson and Sidner! Who is it? I think it was Sidner. It might have been. It was! Holy cow! Oh, look out, Charles behind you! No!